and it stabbed me like a good like half inch, and I freaked the fuck out because it's rusty. You know, you can get a, what's it called? I've been stabbed a lot. Wait, that sounds wrong. Well, I've been stabbed a lot. Story time. One time I went to like for your annual like checkup, right? Then I go in, I sit down on one of those chairs and I'm like rocking back and forth, and I was like, yeah, I'm waiting for my nurse. My nurse comes up to me and she was like, okay, honey, what arm, what arm? And I was like, I guess my left arm, because I don't want her to fuck up my right arm because it's my dominant arm. She's like, okay, so you know, they wrapped a little bandage around the arm to kind of have the blood vessels like pop up, and then it'll be like, you know, checking the arm, see it's there, and then she stabs the needle in. No problem, right? The problem is there was no blood coming up into the vial, and I was like, and I was like, what's going on? And then she's like, huh. And you know what she does? She grabs the needle and she goes like, moves the needle left, right, left, right, left, right, like a fucking windshield wiper. Felt like she just noodled around my veins or something, and my stomach was all knotted from like anxiety, and I'm like, Aah! And I had to be like, ow! Ow! And then she's like, and then she looks at it and she's like, oh, are you hurt? I'm like, are you fucking serious, bitch? Of course I'm hurt. Takes it out and puts it back in again. She's like, huh, there's just no blood going. She just couldn't find it right. I told her like, hey, please stop. Please stop. And she's like, oh. Like, someone that she was stunned. She was stunned that I told her to stop. And then she's like, well, okay, honey, I guess we'll try your other arm. She got the blood, all done. But ever since then, for like a good 4 months, every time I stretch my left arm, it would send like a shock, like a little like weird tingle. And I was so scared that like, I'm gonna die or some shit. I don't know. I was stupid back then. I used to not be afraid of like taking a blood test, but now I am. I've been stabbed a lot. Wait, that sounds wrong. Well, I've been stabbed a lot by accident. I have like so many stab stories. Stabby, stab, 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 stab. I have 2 more stab stories, okay? In high school, and there was like an art project, and it was during the time of like Day of the Dead, like Dios de Muertos or something like that. Luckily for me, I didn't get a bruise, but it was like Day of the Dead, and we were doing an art project where we were making, it's like a felt, like it's a felt skull that you can cut out, and then like you create little designs and you sew it together to make like the flowers on the cheekbones, to make like the eyes, you sew buttons and stuff. But my teacher was like, you can always take it home. So I bring home my needle, right? Put it on my desk, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta pee. I gotta use the restroom. So you know what I do? I stab the needle like vertical, like straight up into the felt, because I've lost a needle like 5 times. My idea was when I come back, I'm gonna place my hand, like pat it on the felt, and because it's sticking up, I'm not gonna miss it at all, right? But my dumbass, after using the restroom, goes back, sit down, and instead of like patting it gently, I literally go like that straight down onto my desk without thinking. Literally the part where you have like the hole where you put the thread in, that end stabs into my palm. I was like, oh! I didn't scream, I didn't anything. The sound was chunky. It was like, and it just stuck into my palm. And I was like, and I pulled it out, and then luckily it didn't bleed or anything. It was just like a red spot. It bled a little bit, but it wasn't like, you know, in blood. So then, yeah, that was one time, and I was an idiot. My 3rd stab story. So this is gonna be a little bit graphic, okay? Well, not really. 3rd stab story. I was with my 2 friends at my friend's house, and there was no parents because the parents are like out working, but we're like old enough where we can stay home. And we're just, you know, hanging around, doing weird shit, playing games, and we're playing outside, and we're chasing something. I was wearing flip-flops, and the flip-flops were like made out of foam, so it wasn't even like made out of leather or anything. It was just made out of foam, so it was very flimsy and very not strong, right? It's not supportive. I was running, and then I was like, oh, I fell in here, and then I leaned over. I either fell forward or backwards, doesn't matter. I stepped with my left foot, and I stepped into a rusted nail, and it stabbed me like a good like half inch, and I freaked the fuck out because it's rusty. You know, you can get a, what's it called? I keep thinking tinnitus, but that's for the ear. What was it called? Something. A cancer? Tetanus, thank you, not tinnitus. My 2 friends and I, we run to the back house and we washed my foot. Yeah, I stabbed through the foam sandals, which is really bad. Really deep in, and we washed it with water, hot water and soap. You can see like the little tendons and like the muscle, and like it's just like really blotchy, right? And just like, it was really creepy. And I was so scared, I put the band-aid. And for a whole day, I didn't tell my parents until finally I'm like,
I think I'm going to die, Mom and Dad.
And then they're like, what the fuck are you saying? And I was like, well, I don't want to say this because I'm ashamed. I was actually like ashamed. Felt like I was a bad daughter for having this happened to me. I told them what happened, and then my dad's like, you fucking idiot, I'll take you to the doctor. So I go to the doctor, right? And the doctor's like, oh, well, according to your records, you already got the tetanus shot, so you should be fine. But just in case, here's some pills, all right? You're probably gonna be fine. And I was like, oh, thank you, thank God. So then I was fine. But from that day on, I was really, really like scared. So I've been stabbed in the foot, stabbed in the arm, and stabbed in... Hiya! Did you love this video? Did it wrestle your jimmies? If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll steer your toes if you don't.